What if I told you that some of the most powerful soil transformations I've ever discovered aren't hiding in expensive garden centers or university labs, but sitting right in your kitchen scraps, local coffee shops, and places you walk past every single day? Most gardeners spend hundreds of dollars every season on bagged amendments and synthetic fertilizers, completely overlooking these forgotten soil superchargers that old-timers have been using for generations. Here's what most people don't know. The most effective soil builders are often free, abundant, and hiding in plain sight. I've spent over 2 decades testing soil amendments in my own gardens and working alongside soil microbiologists, permaculture masters, and third-generation market farmers. What I discovered is that traditional wisdom backed by modern soil science reveals amendments that can increase soil biology significantly and boost plant yields in ways that shocked even me. In just a few minutes, I'll show you how number 4 on this list, something you can get for free from any coffee shop, increased my tomato yields substantially in just 1 growing season. And wait until you hear about number 7. This ancient soil secret that modern research proves can sequester significant amounts of carbon per acre while increasing root mass. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button if you want more game-changing gardening secrets that actually work in the real world. I test everything for multiple seasons before sharing it, so you know you're getting proven results, not garden center marketing. So let's get into it. Here are 7 soil amendments to add right now, ranked from solid game changers to absolutely revolutionary. Number 1. Aged urine, the liquid gold amendment. For thousands of years, farmers used aged human urine as a nitrogen source, calling it liquid gold. Historical agricultural texts recommend aged urine for fruit trees and grain crops. Agricultural writers documented dilution ratios and application timing that farmers followed for centuries. Here's what most people miss about this ancient practice. Aged human urine does contain N, P, K, and trace minerals, but many synthetic fertilizers also include trace minerals. The key benefit is its organic form and free availability. Aging reduces pathogens like E. coli, but does not eliminate all. For example, some viruses persist. Dilution is primary for safe absorption. But here's the thing. The aging process is absolutely critical. Fresh urine is too concentrated and can burn plants, but aged urine becomes a balanced, slow-release fertilizer. I age fresh urine in sealed containers for minimum 6 months. The longer you age it, the more concentrated and safe it becomes. Here's my exact method. Dilute aged urine 1 to 10 with water. Apply monthly during growing season around the root zone, never on leaves. I've been using this for 4 seasons now, and my nitrogen-hungry crops like corn and leafy greens show better color and growth compared to synthetic alternatives. The reason this got forgotten is simple. Modern sanitation concerns and cultural taboos made people abandon this time-tested practice, despite proper aging and dilution minimize risks. But pharmaceutical residues in urine pose potential long-term soil contamination concerns. The fertilizer industry certainly didn't want people discovering they could produce nitrogen fertilizer for free. Think of it as a slow-release fertilizer factory that's been waiting in your own body for you to rediscover. Number 2. Crushed eggshells with coffee grounds, the pH balancing powerhouse. Depression-era gardeners never threw away eggshells or coffee grounds. My grandmother's generation knew this combination created good soil conditions for vegetables. Market gardeners have used this mix for generations, passing down crushing techniques and mixing ratios through family farms. Here's why it works so well. Eggshells provide slow-release calcium. Brewed coffee grounds are near neutral pH, add minor nitrogen and organic matter, but primarily improve structure rather than significant N source. Eggshells slightly raise pH. Alkaline, coffee grounds are neutral post-brewing. No strong evidence of synergistic buffering, and feeds beneficial microbes for months. But here's what most people don't realize. The crushing size matters enormously. I crush eggshells to pea-sized pieces, never powder. Finely crushed eggshells release calcium slowly regardless. No evidence fine powder causes lockout. Large pieces simply decompose slower. I mix 1-to-1 with used coffee grounds, compost together for 3 months before applying. Here's my exact application method. I spread 2 inches around plants monthly during growing season. My pepper plants went from struggling in acidic soil to producing better harvests. The calcium from eggshells strengthens cell walls, while coffee grounds feed the soil microbes that make nutrients available. Modern agriculture abandoned this because you can't patent eggshells and coffee grounds. There's no profit in teaching people to use free kitchen scraps that work better than expensive bagged amendments. Think of it as a time-release pharmacy that's been hiding in your breakfast routine, waiting for you to unlock its potential. Number 3. Kelp meal from Asian markets. The micronutrient miracle. Coastal farmers in Scotland, Ireland, and Japan have harvested seaweed for soil amendment for centuries. They knew ocean plants contained minerals that land plants desperately needed. Scottish crofters would walk miles to collect kelp after storms, considering it valuable for their potato and grain crops. Modern science has caught up in a dramatic way. Kelp contains trace minerals and cytokinins that promote growth, but effects are modest, not always significant in field trials, creating larger root systems that can access nutrients other plants can't reach. But here's what most gardeners miss. You can buy kelp meal from Asian grocery stores at lower cost than garden centers. I learned this from a market farmer in Oregon who swears his prize-winning vegetables come from this secret source. He's been buying bags from the same Korean market for 15 years. Here's my exact method. Apply kelp meal twice yearly. Spring application feeds the growing season. Fall application builds soil biology over winter. But timing matters enormously. Apply in early spring and late fall when soil microbes are most active and can process the minerals effectively. The reason this source got forgotten is simple. Garden centers mark up kelp meal significantly because most gardeners don't know about ethnic grocery alternatives. The same product often costs less in Asian markets. Think of it as an ocean pharmacy that's been waiting in ethnic grocery aisles for you to discover. Number 4. Used coffee grounds with worm castings, the soil biology booster. Farmers have discovered that mixing coffee processing waste with worm castings creates fertile soil. This combination has sustained agricultural systems when synthetic inputs were limited. They called it black gold and credited it with improving soil fertility. Here's why this combination is revolutionary. Studies show this mixture increases beneficial soil bacteria significantly within weeks. Brewed coffee grounds provide carbon and minor nitrogen, C/N, approximately 20 to 25 to 1, supporting microbes, but not a primary N source, while the castings provide pH buffering. But here's what most people don't realize about soil microbes. Coffee grounds provide carbon and nitrogen for bacterial growth, but they need the enzymes in worm castings to unlock nutrients other amendments can't touch. The worm castings contain enzymes that break down organic matter, releasing nutrients slowly over months. Here's my exact recipe. Mix 3 parts used coffee grounds with 1 part worm castings, age for 2 weeks, then apply 1 inch thick around plants. I get free grounds from local coffee shops, and this mixture increased my tomato yields substantially in just 1 season. But here's the thing about timing. Apply this mixture in early spring when soil temperature reaches 55 degrees. The biological activity increases when soil warms up, creating beneficial microbes that plants can tap into immediately. The reason this got forgotten is simple. The rise of chemical agriculture made people abandon these biological partnerships that take weeks to show results. Synthetic fertilizers give instant green up, but they destroy the soil biology that creates long-term fertility. Think of it as a microbial city that's been waiting in your local coffee shop for you to build. If you're finding value in these forgotten soil secrets, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because we're just getting to the really amazing ones. The next 3 amendments have completely transformed how I think about soil building. Number 5. Fermented fish scraps. The ancient growth accelerator. Native Americans buried fresh fish with corn, per Squanto legend, not necessarily fermented. Fermentation is a later adaptation. This practice sustained indigenous agriculture for centuries across North America. Indigenous people had perfected fish fermentation methods that European settlers learned to use. Here's why this works so well. Fermented fish provides amino acids and organics, but synthetics replicate NPK. Unique benefit is microbial stimulation. Plants absorb these complex proteins through root systems, triggering faster early growth. But here's what most gardeners don't realize about the fermentation process. The fermentation breaks down proteins into amino acid chains that plants can use, unlike synthetic nitrogen that requires soil conversion. Fresh fish scraps can burn plants and attract pests, but fermented fish becomes liquid plant food that works effectively. Here's my exact method. I ferment fish scraps in buried containers for 3 months, then dilute the liquid 1 to 20 with water. I get free scraps from local fish markets, and this liquid makes my seedlings grow vigorously. My tomato seedlings transplanted with fish emulsion establish faster than untreated plants. But here's the thing about application timing. Apply fermented fish emulsion every 2 weeks during active growth periods, but stop 4 weeks before harvest to avoid any residual fish smell on vegetables. The reason this got forgotten is simple. Modern squeamishness about natural decomposition made gardeners abandon this effective traditional practice. The fertilizer industry promoted clean, odorless synthetics over messy but superior natural processes. Think of it as a protein shake for plants that's been waiting in fish market dumpsters for you to rediscover. Number 6. Charcoal and wood ash mixture. The carbon sequestration secret. Terra preta involves biochar, manure, bones, and organics. Wood ash contributes but is not the primary component. These soils are still more fertile today than surrounding rainforest soils, proving this technique creates long-term soil improvement. Archaeological evidence shows these black soils supported larger populations than current rainforest communities. Modern science has caught up in a dramatic way. Biochar alone sequesters carbon and improves retention. Wood ash adds K, but can raise pH excessively in non-acidic soils. This mixture creates soil structure changes that last longer than many other amendments. But here's what most people miss about the science. The charcoal provides surface area for beneficial microbes, while the ash supplies potassium and trace minerals. Together they create soil aggregation that improves drainage in clay soils and water retention in sandy soils. Here's my exact method. Mix 4 parts crushed charcoal with 1 part wood ash from hardwood fires. Apply 2 inches deep and till into top 6 inches of soil. I've been testing this for 3 seasons, and my soil went from sandy and depleted to rich and moisture retentive. But here's the thing about sourcing materials. The charcoal must be crushed to pea-size pieces, and the ash must come from untreated hardwood only. Softwood ash or treated lumber ash will damage soil chemistry. I get hardwood charcoal from barbecue supply stores and crush it myself with a hammer. Here's why timing matters. Apply this mixture in fall so winter freeze-thaw cycles integrate it into soil structure. Spring applications don't get the physical integration that creates long-term benefits. The reason this technique got forgotten is simple. Industrial agriculture abandoned this because it requires local materials and doesn't create ongoing product sales like synthetic amendments. You can't patent charcoal and wood ash, so there's no profit in promoting it. Think of it as a soil time capsule that's been waiting in your fireplace for you to unlock centuries of fertility. Number 7. Mycorrhizal fungi from forest soil. The underground internet builder. For millions of years, plants have partnered with mycorrhizal fungi in a relationship that predates human agriculture. Some indigenous practices incorporated forest soil or mulch, but no widespread evidence of deliberate mycorrhizal transfer as described. Modern permaculture adapts this. They would carry forest soil to their agricultural plots, knowing it contained beneficial organisms they couldn't see, but could measure in harvest abundance. Here's why this is revolutionary. Mycorrhizae extend effective root reach and facilitate nutrient/water sharing. Chemical communication, signaling, is emerging but not fully proven for broad pest warnings. These fungal networks can sequester carbon while increasing plant root mass and disease resistance. But here's what most people don't realize about how this underground internet actually works. The fungi form partnerships with plant roots, trading phosphorus and trace minerals for carbon sugars. But they also connect multiple plants in communication networks that share resources and warning signals about pest attacks. Here's my exact collection method. Collect soil from healthy deciduous forests, focusing on areas around oak and maple trees where mycorrhizal activity is high. Look for areas with thick leaf litter and visible mushrooms, signs of active fungal networks. I collect soil from the top 4 inches where fungal activity is most concentrated. Here's my application technique. Mix forest soil into garden beds. I learned this from a permaculture pioneer in Vermont who showed me how this single addition transformed his entire food forest system. His apple trees went from struggling with fire blight to producing better harvests after mycorrhizal inoculation. But here's the thing about establishment timing. You're not just adding fungi, you're introducing an entire soil ecosystem that's been perfecting plant partnerships for millions of years. The benefits take a full season to establish as fungal networks grow and connect with plant roots. Here's why application method matters. Don't till forest soil deep into garden beds. Mycorrhizal fungi live in the top few inches where oxygen levels support their growth. Deep tilling kills the fungi you're trying to establish. The reason modern agriculture destroyed these relationships is simple. Tilling and chemicals break fungal networks because the benefits take a full season to establish and can't be measured with simple soil tests. Industrial farming prioritized quick results over biological partnerships that create long-term soil health. But here's what I've observed over 3 seasons of testing. Plants connected to mycorrhizal networks show better drought resistance and fewer pest problems. The fungi literally create plant immune systems that synthetic inputs cannot replicate. Think of it as plugging your garden into nature's original internet that's been waiting in every healthy forest for you to reconnect. The biggest insight here is that the most powerful soil amendments aren't products you buy, they're relationships you rebuild. These forgotten techniques work because they restore the biological partnerships that created fertile soil long before humans invented agriculture. Every single amendment on this list works by feeding soil biology rather than just feeding plants. When you feed the microbes, fungi, and earthworms, they create nutrient cycling systems that work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, building soil fertility while you sleep. Here's what I want you to understand about soil building. The most expensive amendments in garden centers are trying to replace biological processes with chemical shortcuts. But biology always wins in the long run because living systems adapt, evolve, and improve over time. If this opened your eyes to what's possible with free, natural soil building, smash that like button to help other gardeners discover these secrets. Drop a comment below and tell me which amendment surprised you the most. Are you team coffee grounds and worm castings, team fermented fish scraps, or team mycorrhizal forest soil? I read every comment, and I love hearing about your soil building experiments. Make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell because I'm constantly testing new techniques, and I only share the ones that deliver measurable results in real gardens. Next week, I'm releasing a video about 3 forgotten composting methods that create finished compost in half the time using materials most people throw away. Remember, sometimes the most powerful soil amendments aren't in expensive garden centers or university labs. Sometimes they're in your kitchen scraps, local coffee shops, and forest floors, just waiting for you to rediscover what generations of successful growers always knew.